Well, that bizarre tale of the shop teacher at Oakville Trafalgar High School who continues to dress up as a caricature of a woman, it just keeps on going. We speak of Kayla Lemieux, aka Kayla Lemieux, aka Busty Lemieux, an individual who continues to fascinate and appall people the world over. So it was that a protest was held by the People's Party of Canada outside the headquarters of the Halton District School Board in Burlington, Ontario last Sunday. The message conveyed by PPC leader Maxime Bernier was this: let's have common sense eclipse insane wokeism, and the sooner the better. In any event, you had plenty to say regarding the ongoing circus sideshow that is taking place daily at shop class at Oakville Trafalgar High School. Ali Agnes writes, the only way to win this is when the students themselves walk out of school and not return until this nut job is gone. Unfortunately, as long as the students put up with it, there will be no change. There needs to be a student that will take on the role of leader and organize a walkout. You know, I think that's a great idea, Ali. I've spoken to many kids at Oakville Trafalgar. I think they're great kids, despite the ongoing indoctrination that is taking place thanks to the uber woke Halton District School Board. And what's the worst that can happen? A suspension if they walk out? Big deal. They are learning nothing of value in Busty Lemieux's class, especially thanks to all those workshop safety rules that he continues to violate on a daily basis. Furry Furnace writes, I asked my 22-year-old son if this kind of abuse in high school would have affected him when he was in shop class, and he replied that at a young age, it would have left a scar on him mentally. Get your young boys out of that class. You know, it's funny, isn't it, Furry Furnace? The school boards say it's all about the kids when they introduce some crackpot policy. Teachers' unions, when their members go on strike for more money and benefits, they always say it's all about the kids. But when it comes to the ongoing unreasonable accommodation of Busty Lemieux, it's all about turning a blind eye to an individual who might just be a sexual pervert. And in the opinion of the educrats who operate the Halton District School Board, well, if the kids have a problem with this wokeism, then they can just go to hell. Shameful beyond words. Angel Baby writes, love the "a woman is not a costume" sign. Indeed, Angel Baby, and you know what? I bet if a student or a teacher came to school wearing, say, a Mexican sombrero, then that person would be suspended due to cultural appropriation. But when it comes to wearing a costume that makes a mockery of the figure of a biological woman, nothing to see here, folks. Move along, move along. Michelle Lembecker writes, Max has stood with Canadians against the vax mandates during the truckers' protests, and now for the children against this ridiculous wokeness. He has my vote for Prime Minister. You know, I love Mad Max myself. Radical transgenderism is a political third rail in Canada these days for some reason. But Mr. Bernier and his PPC candidates are never afraid to take a stand on hot potato issues like this. The question arises, why are so many other elected politicians being so silent on this nonsense that continues to go on in Oakville? And Fire Queen 78 writes, wow, well done to the protesters and well done Rebel News for covering this, sending all good wishes for a swift resolution to this awful situation for the school kids watching from New Zealand. Well, thanks kindly, Fire Queen 78. And you know, this story has been a worldwide sensation, receiving coverage from the UK to India to Australia. Yet the Canadian lamestream media, with a few exceptions, they've chosen to ignore this story. Why? Well, they are typically supporters of the radical transgender movement. They typically have no problem with biological males competing with real women in sports. They typically have no problem with male prisoners identifying as females so that they can serve out their sentences in a women's penitentiary. But even Trudeau state-sponsored stenographers know that something is not quite right with this story, that maybe this is about someone carrying out a cosmic prank, or maybe Lemieux is mentally ill. But rather than investigate this story like we're doing, the members of the Liberal Party, the media party, are choosing to ignore this story. Yes, your hard-earned tax dollars hard at work yet again, folks. Hey, folks, that was an excerpt from my show, Rebel Roundup. Now, to get the full meal deal, why not go to Rebel News Plus, sign up, and never miss a Rebel News Plus show in the future.